89 Ranelagh Road. That's where this story starts. That's where I grew up. This was our sailing club, so every Sunday we'd come and race here, and this is where I learned to read water really good, because if you couldn't read when that tide was coming in and you were trying to get out to sea, it would take you a long time. So you always had to learn about working in the lee of the current and stuff like that, sneaking along the edges. But then you needed clean air as well. You'd go out through the mouth of the river and you'd turn and do a triangle, come back and race up the river. It was awesome fun. And there was some good races back in them days. We were racing Hobie cats here and windsurfers we've raced. We used to race from about 6 miles down the coast. There was a race called Man or Mouse. So it'd be about 6 miles down the coast. We'd come in here, and we'd go up to Waldron Field and back on windsurfers. It was a great race. I think Ray Cooper started it. He named it the Man or Mouse. And it was Man or Mouse. That's boards. There used to be an RAF station. It was underground, a lot of it. And they say that there was the big radar station there that was able to take out the Germans during the war. Give them pre-warning. They knew what they were doing. So it was a big military thing there. Bordsey Ferry. Beautiful place. Used to race up the inside here. Me and Gary and all that, we'd be fighting like hell to get up to the mark first. Then there would be no give. That painting, I did a painting of this yacht. This go to it years ago, but over the years it's slowly getting diminished.
Yeah.
It's awesome though, it's still there. It's got to have been there. I used to play on that 40 years ago. This was the girls' college. It was a private school. And see, all this rock here is new. That wasn't. This used to be a hospital up here when I was just, that's
Nick
Ranelagh
used to
Road.
live up that road.
And that's the sun. What are you doing? How are you, mate? Recovery home. When it was snowing, we'd come here and go down on sledges.
Yeah.
There weren't the traffic about then. So just here was Dougie Goodall's hut, and he would do a round the bay or around the Cork lightship, and he'd take people out, and he'd rent deck chairs, and we'd pick up the deck chairs for him. But every day I wasn't at school,
Where you were.
I would be here at 8 in the morning and go home at dusk.
Which was 9/10 of the time.
Yeah, so, and it was just, the beach was longer then, and he had a landing stage. You'd take it out, and people would walk out on it. And the lightship was about 3 or 4 miles offshore. And you'd just stand there and shout, "Lovely guy." a few
What
times.
was that? Magistrates Court.
Yeah,
Spent a lot of time there, huh?
I was there a couple of times. They did me. And the pier, they've built the front end,
Yeah.
redone it, but the old pier is still the same. Do you remember the couple of the people that turned up at the house? This was his
Yeah.
garage. I'm not sure if he still owns it.
Oh yeah. Auto repair. Didn't we come here with Tilly and I think it was just Tilly actually.
Big swimming pool.
We went in there.
Yeah, the gym used to be there. That's where we were
Yeah.
going to work out. Oh God,
School
what's going on?
school thing. Field trip.
That's where my mum lived, in that corner house there.
Yep. That was her
Mum
house
lived
right there.
right
Yep.
at the bottom.
Stayed there a few times, didn't we?
She said, look out that window.
Yep. Gulping.
Yeah.
Heard that later.
Right. That guy in
That's
a wheelchair.
where oh, what's his name?
Yes, I
Um,
know. This whole area.
scientist
Yeah.
had been there.
Yeah. This used to belong to a family called the Mannings, and the son runs it now. But I worked for his granddad as a kid, and then his dad was a good mate of mine, Charlie Manning, and he passed away. Real gentleman, absolute gentleman.
This is where all the fun used to be had.
That's where I worked as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's changed even since I've been here. Maybe not.
I'd like to just park
Is there a
up
little
and
courtyard
walk
there?
if we can.
Yeah, of course.
There you go, look. So wherever there's a gap in the brick or in the seawall, they put gates. And that's really what we should do with our sand dunes, is when no one should be allowed to dig through them because it makes it so vulnerable.
And we need gates
Yeah.
at the roadways.
Yeah. There you go. So this is where our windsurfing school was. We had a big school here, and Ray had a big hut up here. And there was a flat beach, about maybe 60, 70 yards of beach, and we would do all our training there. And we'd have schools come in from Japan and everywhere. And that's where it was, right there. Run that for a few years. When we were racing, you see that mark out at sea, that was one of our turn points called Wadgate Ledge. We'd go out, race around there, down towards the ferry and back. Big triangles, awesome. Anyhow, there's some fishermen here, let's go and have a talk.
Moment.
So you're picking up bass?
Yeah.
I caught a really nice bass one time at the ferry, and they used to have a magazine, an angling magazine,
Yeah.
and I got the fish of the month or whatever it was, and won a fishing rod.
There's some dogfish as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, still dogfish.
Dogfish.
Do you go out ever on the boats? Are the boats
No.
doing any good?
Nah.
No?
There's not many of them left.
Really?
Now. There's what? 4. There's none left, in Harwich at all. There's still a couple goes out from Southwold, and one goes out from Penmill, but other than that, very quiet on the
Do you ever
boats.
fish Shingle Street or up around that area?
I've done Dunwich.
Okay,
I had a real good session up there.
good.
Dunwich is nice.
Yeah, I'll fish
We
there.
actually live in Harwich, right on the sea.
Oh, really?
But
Fishing over there is dire.
Okay. Used to be real good bass in the mouth of that river.
Yeah, but since they've done all the dredging, the snags are terrible.
Okay,
The same round by the viewing point.
yeah.
It used to be good fishing there, but when they made the inner dock,
Hmm.
they took all the.
Do you remember that there was a company, and I worked for them once, they were a dredging company, and they had a pier going out there?
Yeah.
We used to take spoons and catch bass around that pier at night. That was a good spot. So you'll put these tent things up, and
Yeah.
yeah,
good for you. Yeah, lovely meeting you guys.
Done.
So this is where our house was, and the kids grew up. So you could leave the house and they'd run down the beach to my business, was just down the beach there. Had a dog, but if they wanted to know where I was, they'd send that dog out after. It was a little border collie, and it'd stop at every pub until it found me and I knew it was time to go home. But it'd go and get the kids and everything. But it was really beautiful. Our windows looked right out on the North Sea, so on a good storm it was awesome. So these are the famous beach huts. So you don't see them anywhere else that I know of. But people come down on a Sunday and they'll open the doors and sit and have a cup of tea with their family and look out to sea. Kids will be playing in the sand. Here's one of those famous Napoleonic Martello towers. This one was actually converted and become a Coast Guard station ran by this gentleman, Sir John Roach. Awesome chap. Loved him to bits. Taught me to navigate when I was doing my yacht masters. He'd help me. He'd keep an eye on all the windsurfers. If any of us get in trouble, he'd come and get us. Or if someone was in trouble, and he'd send me out after them with my bombard. He was a real good chap. And this is his lovely wife, bright as a button. And we always go and spend some time with them when we're in Felixstowe. This is the world famous port of Felixstowe. It used to be the biggest port or fastest container port in Europe, but when I started back there, must have been in the 70s, it was all handball. There was a couple of container ships used to come in, but it was all manhandled, and slowly the port converted into containerisation. A lot of guys lost their lives in the first few years. They weren't used to dealing with containers really. I suppose that's what the problem was. And there'd be one or two a year got killed. Very sad. Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed your trip through Felixstowe with me. That's where I come from, guys. Love you all.